things we've learned is that two scriptures cannot contradict each other. And if it does, there's certain things you have to look at. The first place you always look at is your understanding. So I'm going to give you two scriptures that to many people just seem to contradict each other. And the first one is Numbers 29 or 23:19. And the first five words of that is, or the first few words of that is, God is not a man that he should lie. Okay. But it's these words right here at the very beginning. God is not a man. To remember, because I'm going to now show you a verse which most people would think, well, that's a big contradiction for you. And this is from 1 Timothy 2, verse 5. For there is one God and one mediator between God and men, the man Jesus Christ. Well, a lot of people teach that Jesus Christ is God. But if these two verses, if they're both truth, that's a contradiction. One says God's not a man, and the other says that Jesus Christ is a man. So how can that possibly be? It's a full-fledged out there contradiction. Then you run into the next thing you have to do. You learn to adjust your believing to what the word says rather than just believing whatever you want. So if God is not a man and Jesus Christ is a man, therefore Jesus Christ is not God. Now, you can throw, I know you're out there planning on throwing 100 verses at me, and we can deal with all these verses. There's no question about that. We can deal with all the verses. The one that comes to mind is my Father and I are one. Okay? It does not say my Father and I are one and the same. It just says we're one. You know what? Monica and I are one. Right now, we are one because we both want this teaching to go out there and to be dynamic and blow people's doors off and get them to consider it. And Don Culp, oh man, we've been doing this for a long time, both of us, and we've known each other for a long time. We're one. And Chris is one with me too. And if Mike was here, he'd be one. And if Chandra was here, or Alan, or anyone else, they would be one. And what we do is we have to adjust our thinking to what the word says. I'm going to teach, you know what? I'm going to prove to you Peter's God. Give me just a second. Look at right here at verse 25. And as Peter was coming in, Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet and worshiped him. Since we worship God and Cornelius was worshiping Peter, that makes Peter God, right? No, Peter may have been many things, but God is not one of them. The next verse says, but Peter took him up and saying, stand up, I myself also am a man. So Peter can't be God either because he's a man. I can't be, none of us can be here tonight, can be God because we're men. So just remember that as you're reading through the word, that each scripture must fit with every other scripture on the same subject. Don is fabulous at this. He's got a couple of teachings out there in our library on when Jesus Christ died, how many people were there when he died. You know, just he's covered the subject pretty well. And I'm going to let you in on a secret, everybody. He might be publishing a book, and I'm going to buy it. All right, so in any case, just remember, adjust your thinking to what the word says and not the other way around.